said that you didn't come back to Mississippi with a
it,
holistic gospel,
I
but a number of things happened in those first few years that made you move from a gospel that's with a sole emphasis on personal salvation to a holistic gospel.
Right. So I went back there thinking, okay, that the gospel could burn through those racial barriers. Then I faced the harsh reality. I became a friend of the First Baptist pastor, Dr. Odenwald, in town. And by this time now, in about 64, and this was the hottest time. The 3 civil rights workers had been killed. The voters' right thing was the long, hot summer and all of that. But I began to watch and to see the behavior of our people and the fact that my people had developed, given the misery and the poverty, I want you to understand, and the hopelessness of our people, they tied education to leaving Mississippi and going north and getting a job. They didn't tie education to their economic condition in Mississippi. And so you would go to somebody's house and they would have all these pictures of these kids on the mantelpiece over the fireplace where they have graduated. And you look down in the house and the pigs and the chicken and the cracks and the coal was there. But they would be bragging about the fact that their children are now in Chicago, New York, or somewhere else. And I could see that education wasn't tied to the reality of the now. And then as it went north, it became tied to how you could look when you came back to Mississippi, what kind of car you was driving. And so it become tied to an upwards, a symbolic of success, not with any concrete ownership of any assets within a community. So it was no way tied to economic development. It was tied to consumerism and the way things looked, and the way you looked, and that you looked like you was prosperous in society. And so that was a short trip then to prosperity theology from there. And I said to my wife, I said, honey, if we're going to make a difference in Mendenhall, and that's all I was concerned about right then, if we're going to make a difference in Mendenhall, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to stay in this little town long enough that we can win some of these young people to Jesus Christ. We got to disciple them in their faith. We got to help them get a love for God, a love for themselves, and a love for the community. That's a bigger love than consumerism and materialism. We're going to help them stay in school, go off to college, get some skills, and bring those skills back to the community. And Vera Mae went to crying. And she said, I will never have another house. She saw the significance of that commitment.